It was rebranding and bringing forth the identity that we always had and were. Cars are super technical now, which is great, by the way, for the aftermarket. We're problem solvers as well as manufacturers.
We know the product that's in the box is good.
You don't have to go to an OE dealership. There are fantastic technicians all throughout the country that we could and should be using.
This episode is sponsored by BM Catalysts, Europe's leading manufacturer of catalytic converters, DPFs and front pipes. With emissions standards continuing to evolve, BM Catalysts remains at the forefront of helping the aftermarket keep vehicles running cleaner and greener. Welcome back to Garage Talk Unwrapped, the podcast with me, Vicky.
And me, Ben. Today we're talking to Ross Toomey, Managing Director, and Martin Turner, Marketing Director of Intermotor Group. We talk about their recent rebrand from SMP Europe and how changes to engine management systems and the modern vehicles are affecting independent garages. Should we not delay people? Because this is a good one.
Let's just get straight into it.
Just straight into it, I agree. So welcome, Martin, Ross. Are you ready?
Ready.
Think so.
Right. Before we get into the main discussion, Intermotor Group has obviously recently returned to the Intermotor name after operating as SMP Europe. Ross, what was behind the decision and what does it mean for garages and technicians?
So, I mean, the decision to change the name back was to go back to our heritage as a manufacturer, UK manufacturer, and Intermotor has been something that's always been there. It started like 56 years ago, I think it was, somewhere around there. And we want to really pull on that. That's the identity of the company. That's who we've always been, and it's what people have always known us as. We were purchased by an American company. We adopted their name, and then we reverted back to who we actually are.
Marketing dream, innit, mine?
Yeah, it's always
Not a lot to change.
Always fun to be told that we have to change every touch point that every customer has with the company. But no, it was a project that we were aware of for a good amount of time beforehand. The actual implementation was actually a lot faster than we were expecting.
How long did you have to do it?
So I told him probably 18 months, 2 years before we were doing it that we were going to go down this journey. But then I gave him...
So we prepared a lot of the change to happen, did all the rebranding, prepared all the staff, all the documentation. And originally there was a different direction we were going to go in on the name. So everything had been prepared on that different direction. And then...
I happened.
Ross had an idea.
At least you admit it, right?
Which, in fairness, I mean, everything's easier to see in hindsight. It's 100% the right decision. The response from the market's been really, really positive. But it meant that when we actually came to the point of, yes, we're going to action this, it was a really short time frame. And we were about to, I think it happened November 1st. You called me last year and said, yeah, we're doing it. And I said, when? And he said, now. So we were on our way to Las Vegas because we were going to the Apex and SEMA shows out there. So there was an awful lot of work that had to be done remotely while we were there.
Do they have corners you can cry in there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of tiny violins playing melodies, which made me feel better. But no, it was my background is I'm a graphic designer, and particularly my speciality in graphic design was branding. I've always loved branding and what you can do with it to represent a company, but also to sort of tell a story and things like that. So it was a really nice opportunity for me to do it. Lots of stress, but it was great fun. And like I say, the reward for me is when you speak to people in the market or at trade shows and they're telling you that that's how it should have always been. And that's kind of the goal for me always with stuff like that, is when people feel that affinity with the brand, that they are confident in telling you that that's what they always wanted your brand to be and to represent. It's a good feeling for me.
That's amazing. Well done.
I think he's downplayed it a little bit there. It was dropped on him real short, as he said. But it wasn't just branding or rebranding a company. It was rebranding and bringing forth the identity that we always had and were, as he said. But it's more than just Nottingham. We are a global company and we have global reach. And it was the whole rebranding process of that was done in a very short space of time. So he actually did a fantastic job of it.
And when you mention branding, of course, it was there previously. It's not just a matter of bringing that branding forward, is it? Because that's dated, as all branding does, it gets dated. Yes. So it's about updating that brand, but keeping the philosophy behind it.
Yeah, no, I think you went through a few different concepts of where you thought we could modernise the visual aspect of the company, but without losing that heritage. And that was important to us. Heritage of any business is important, but we have members of staff that have been with us since the company's inception, and that was something that we didn't want to lose, that identity that we're trying to regain. But you cleaned up some of the areas that only a graphic designer would notice and put a lot of time and effort into it. And yeah, like I said, you've done a fantastic job, and it makes us look how the company should look, I think.
That's great stuff. We're going to start on engine management systems. So they've changed dramatically over the last decade. From your perspective, what are the biggest changes that have impacted independent garages?
I think a lot of the impact is where the systems are so integrated now that it's not merely just changing a part. You change a part that has influence on lots of different parts on that same circuit or to the ECU, and you change it and it can knock something out. Like, you need to understand what you're doing. Cars are super technical now, which is great, by the way, for the aftermarket.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that just Bill and Bob can do in their garage. You need someone who understands those parts. And as they become more technical to hit emissions and all of that, that's where the aftermarket can really thrive. You don't have to go to an OE dealership. There are fantastic technicians all throughout the country that we could and should be using. So
are today's engine management repairs generally more difficult than they were 10 years ago, or are technicians simply dealing with a different set of challenges?
I think it's a mixture. You've got the parts that are definitely more technical. Air mass meters, for example. They monitor the flow of air going through them, but it's not just the air. It's reverse flow, it's humidity. There's all sorts that comes into it. And quite often, if a part isn't manufactured correctly, you could fit something that you think will work, and it tells you the part number is the equivalent of the OE, so yeah, I can trust it and fit it. But if you don't understand what you're replacing, then you're going to get a callback, and you're going to have an unhappy customer. There's more labour that's gone into it and all of that. So, yeah, the technicians have to be educated and understand what they're doing, which I do think the industry is pretty good at. But the supply chain also needs to understand that as well.
And you mentioned airflow. The only time you ever hear about airflow in a car is F1.
Yes.
Obviously, they mention it all the time because obviously it's the way the car goes quicker. How important is it learning from F1 and bringing that back to a normal consumer car, or are we teaching F1?
I think the F1 is kind of game changing. The stuff that they're doing on their vehicles is next level. They're looking way in advance of lots of things. Many of the big manufacturers have got an eye on those or a hand in them. So some of the technologies that they're developing, not all of them, but they do filter down into our market. And as you see that come through, and it can be quite a daunting experience to look at, well, how am I going to fix this car? It's so technical. They're pretty much computers on wheels now.
Yeah.
And it's overcoming that worrying challenge of how you do that. And it's all about education.
Martin, through your conversations with garages, factors and customers, what are the biggest frustrations workshops are facing when diagnosing modern vehicles?
That's a really interesting question. I think the garages, from the conversations I've had with them, they are looking for reliability in their results. So they want to be the right solution for their customers, because a lot of the garages, they work on reputation with their customers. So they don't want to be having to repeat repairs. They don't want to be coming back to customers saying, I don't know what's wrong with this. As Ross has already mentioned, the complexity of modern vehicles is ridiculous. And I think from our perspective, we want to help garages by providing a solution which they can rely on. I think there are so many different parts available now from different manufacturers, and it's really difficult to understand where you can trust to put your time and effort into. I think the work that we do, Ross has already spoken about our engineering, the pride that we take in that, and bringing in our knowledge from sort of OE markets into the aftermarket. We really do take care to make sure that our products are that solution. And look, there are a lot of great manufacturers in the industry, both in our categories and out in other categories. I think for the garages, my understanding is what they want is just to trust that the solution they're providing their customer is going to show them in the best light.
But they need to trust the diagnosis first, don't they?
They do, yeah. And engine management's a difficult thing to diagnose sometimes. A lot of the products sit on loops, so the diagnosis can say, oh, it's on that loop, but there might be 5 or 6 products on that loop. Our engineering and product knowledge, we have an awful lot of information about what we think the most reliable answer is for which part on that loop has failed. So we have technical support on the phones that people can call and ask those questions, and we get those phone calls all the time.
So what do you task Martin to do? To market the company or market the products?
It's both. And even the technical line that he's talking about, that's not specific to the factors. It is there for them to help them. But if the garages need some technical advice, they can get through to our technical team, and if needed, the engineers to help them. But yeah, I mean, Martin's job is to let people know who we are and what we do.
Not easy though with that, all that taken on board, is it? Because you're not a one product company.
No, we're not one product, but also we need people to understand who we are and what we do, because we can actually help them, and that's what we're trying to push now. So we're letting people know that we are here, we're available to help. We're problem solvers as well as manufacturers. We don't just buy stuff in. We do stuff in our brands, we do stuff in other people's brands, and we respect all of those brands. But it's to get the right parts to the garage the first time. You only want to fit it once.
Yeah.
Sounds easy, Martin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you tired of chasing car parts over the phone? PartSync connects trade buyers with trusted suppliers in one platform. No calls, no delays, just parts. Get real choice, new, used or genuine OEM. Compare brands, warranty, price and delivery. Suppliers, connect with active trade buyers ready to buy your stock. PartSync, bringing the parts industry together. Book your demo at partsync.co.uk.
This isn't background noise. This is Garage Talk, the UK's independent automotive voice, now across 3 platforms. Garage Talk Radio streaming online on Alexa and catch up on Mixcloud. Garage Talk Unwrapped, the podcast, available on all good podcast platforms. Garage Talk Unwrapped, the video magazine. Watch and subscribe on YouTube. Breaking news, big conversations, real workshops, real stories. If you're in the trade, you should already be listening. Search Garage Talk. Turn it up, get involved.
So are you seeing any trends in the types of products and repairs that are becoming more important in today's workshops?
I think the thing that we're seeing most, and where a lot of our engineering is sort of focused at the moment, is around the emissions products. With the Euro 5, 6, 7, whichever one we're on now, there seems to be a lot of manufacturers finding different solutions to how to achieve those regulations. So different vehicles have different solutions, and our engineers are looking at lots of different ways to help aftermarket customers in those respects. We've got a fantastic product which we launched probably about 18 months ago now, which is going really, really well, which is the AdBlue injectors, the urea injectors. That is a solution which has come as a result of some of these regulations, but the liquid itself, the AdBlue liquid, is is difficult to work with. It crystallizes when it gets hot, which against an exhaust is a problem that's going to exist regardless. So our engineers saw that that problem, that AdBlue injectors were getting clogged up. They redesigned the heat sink for it. Actually achieves a phenomenal result in terms of cooling, which prevents the crystallization from happening. I think we won Product of the Year for it about 18 months ago with the IAAF.
Yeah, I remember
which was fantastic for us. The design is actually so good that we've got a patent on it. So we're the only ones who can produce that design. But that product is an aftermarket product. It's not been put OE on any vehicles. It's one that we sell to the aftermarket for that solution. So it's something that we're always looking at how we can move the aftermarket forward, how we can help the aftermarket, and that's one of the things that
I think
we do.
That's 100% right. But that one in particular, and some others that we've done and we do manufacture, that conversation came from one of our customers, meeting with them and just going through their journey in the changing environment that's there, and them saying, "Oh well, we're looking at putting vans on the road that are EV because we've got this problem with our van." Okay, well, what's your issue? Told us, we went away, had a look, found a solution. So we like to work with our customers and our customers' customers to see what's going on, what the trends are. We will recognise some from the work that we do, obviously, as a manufacturer, but there's other things where it's not necessarily the product lines or our wheelhouse, but we can develop and influence that. So we're keen to work with people that are dealing with the cars, selling the cars, whatever it is, and find ways to improve the situation for everybody.
Is it fair to say you're a sponge, Ross, that you take all this information from the other directors and then make the decision where to drive the next step?
Yeah, I'm a sponge.
Without this information, you can't.
No, you can't. And the problem we have as a company is because we
A nice problem.
It is a nice problem, but the problem we have is we have so many opportunities as a business, and we have to hone in on the ones that we think are right for us as a business, but also the markets that we operate in. And sometimes you can have too many opportunities, and it can drag your attention every which way. And you just need to work with the organisation, but also the people that you're supplying to get them what they need. There's some things that we could make, and I'm confident we would be one of the best in the world at making it, but it's not necessarily something the market needs. So you need to be wary and choosy of what you're doing, because everything comes at a cost.
Think about it commercially.
Yes,
but it's a shame because you could help so many people.
Yeah, and our investments take us in different ways, and some of it is automotive, some of it is outside automotive, but the majority of it is automotive driven.
So we've mentioned OE a bit there, and OE quality, OE standards is a phrase that's used frequently in the aftermarket. What does it actually mean in terms of what you guys are doing, and why should garages pay attention to it when choosing components?
It's an interesting one, this one, because everybody says OE quality, OE standard. Meets or exceeds is my favourite one. But I think it's one where obviously people are trying to market it to get people to buy their product and trust that what they're selling you is right and it is good quality. I think a stigma is put on stuff that comes out of China and places like that it's all going to be bad quality. It's not. There's good stuff that comes out of China. The iPhone designed in California, manufactured in China. Yeah. There's lots of good things that come out, but you have to be able to understand what you're buying and what quality you are buying at. Is it consistent? Will it do what you want it to do for a prolonged period of time? So as a manufacturer, we obviously trust the product that we make. It's tested, it's validated, it's calibrated, everything that it needs to be. For products that we don't manufacture, they go through the same process. So there's stuff that where you mentioned about opportunities we've missed. Yeah, we have missed some opportunities, but we've missed them for specific reasons, because we do not believe that the product that we've assessed in the aftermarket that's available, it meets the requirements that we do as a business. And that's what leads us to some of the R&D that we do to fix that solution, but also find that sweet spot.
And of course, sweet spot on quality, sweet spot on cost, because certainly Intermotor is not known for supplying quick, cheap parts, because there's all this R&D. It has parts that are needed and of a quality. So how do you let the supply chain know it's a matter of quality against value and the importance of it in the real world?
I think it's inherent. I think most people understand that if you are going to take the cheapest product you can find, you're probably not going to get the highest quality product on the market. And you know, we, as you rightly say, we're not known for being the cheap product that you can get hold of really low cost. But we are known for our quality. People understand that. People talk to us about it all the time. I think Ross speaks about it all the time. The phrase he always uses is we're one of the best kept secret in the aftermarket,
definitely.
And that's because we generally historically have quietly gone about our business with the engineering and the values that we have, where we won't test product on customer. We won't just buy stuff in, put it out there, hope that the warranties aren't very high, and if they're not very high, say, well, that's a good enough product then. We just won't do that. We never will. The process that we go through to validate that product means that there is a cost to that, because it costs money to run those processes, to buy the machinery, to train the staff to do that testing and validation. But what it gives us is it gives us a really solid approach to the market where we know the product that's in the box is good. There's never any question for us.
But it's okay, knowing it, isn't it? It's how you'll portray that message out.
It is, yeah, and that's the challenge that I have. And we were speaking earlier before we started recording about different ways to address the market, and we do as much of that as we possibly can. There's always more you can do, and I think for me, I really want to start engaging more and more with the garages, with some of the customers that we have. I think we, again, on the lines of the best kept secret, we always say, oh, we're anonymous, no one sees us, and then we realise that maybe we're just not visible enough. In terms of physically being at events and seeing people and talking to people. I think we quietly have gone about our business, and I think we're probably now at a stage where we need to step forward a little bit more and be more proactive in shouting about what we do.
There's definitely a middle ground, isn't there? You don't want to be in people's faces all the time, but while you're busy doing all the good work, it is hard to remember, oh, actually, yes, we do need to promote all these different things and shout about us to people. I mean, I know you do a lot with the hockey and things as well, so you are out there, your names are out there, but it's, like I say, you don't want to go too far the other way and kind of go, oh God, it's Intermotor again.
Yeah, and I think the hockey is a really good example, because we got involved with the GB hockey team, and I think people have seen, Ross today is wearing a GB hockey
very nice
top.
They're lovely. It's lovely merch, isn't it, Martin?
It is, yeah. Contact Ross to buy them. But I think we got involved with them. They were on an upward curve when we got involved with them. They were just reaching the top level of international hockey, which is a massive deal. Top 16 teams in the world, which for what we consider a small hockey nation, it's not a mainstream sport for us. That was a really big deal, playing against the likes of Canada, USA, Finland. But I think that level of elite sport for companies isn't always accessible to be involved with. We have a great relationship with GB Hockey, and we've worked really hard to use that. A lot of people will ask the question, why is our logo pink on the hockey jerseys when our logo is traditionally blue and yellow? And a lot of that is because we use it as charitable work. So any money we raise through our hockey sponsorship is for charity. So we've raised money for breast cancer, we've raised money for prostate cancer, for
Help the Heroes. There's been a whole load, yeah.
A whole load of them.
That's
so
amazing.
we'll do that by selling charity jerseys, game worn jerseys that we've designed, special edition jerseys, things like that, and raising money in and around the events. we do that because associating with an elite organisation, it represents the same values that we have for ourselves. You know, we don't cut corners, we don't take shortcuts. We want to do everything right. And when we've interacted with the organisation for Ice Hockey UK, and when we've interacted with especially the players, that elite mentality comes out, and we have an awful lot in common with them. We really have enjoyed our work with them.
Yeah, and it's allowed us to do lots of fun things. So we were able to bring the Stanley Cup over. So it came to Nottingham. Me and Martin had the privilege of going pick it up and meeting the keeper of the cup from Heathrow, chucking it in the back of the truck and then driving up.
Don't say chucking. Any dents on that trophy, it's your fault.
That trophy is full of dents. He told us so many stories that you probably can't share on air, but that trophy goes everywhere. But bringing that to Nottingham, and then people being able to see something that's iconic and come and see it for free, to get their picture taken with it and experience that, and then go to the hockey. And some of them donated to the charities, and that was just a nice piece for us. We've always tried to support people both in and out of work, and that will never change for us.
At Ben, we provide free health and wellbeing support for life to automotive industry people and their families. Whether you're struggling with stress, money worries, or your mental health, help is just a call away at 08081 311 333, or visit ben.org.uk to chat or access tips and tools.
When quality matters and emissions count, demand precision. BM Catalyst is Europe's leading manufacturer of aftermarket hot-end emissions products. From catalytic converters and OE-level components to expert technical training available on Garage Pro, BM delivers best-in-class manufacturing, rigorous performance and full compliance. Need parts you can trust? Visit bmcats.com. Partner with BM. Drive profit, exceed expectations.
Looking ahead, with increasing electrification, smiles on your faces there, connectivity and software-driven vehicle system, what challenges and opportunities do you see for independent garages over the next 5 years?
I think the biggest problem is going to be access to technical information on how.
It's a completely different podcast, isn't it, Martin? Let's be
is.
honest. That's an hour and a half.
That's a really big, meaty question that the industry is going to have to come up with an answer for.
Do you think they have, or working towards it?
I think there's some really good work going on, and the problem is it's going to be a moving target. I think the more the aftermarket finds solutions, I think the more the goalposts are going to move, and I think there's going to have to be continual work done to seek those solutions. And I know that there's an awful lot of talk around access for repair for the aftermarket. We want to see that continue. We want to see aftermarket parts suppliers, aftermarket garages continue to thrive and find those solutions. But it's not going to get any easier. The diagnostic tools are going to get more expensive. The solutions are going to get more expensive and more complicated. And I think it's, Ross mentioned earlier, it's a computer on wheels. It's not the same as it was 20 years ago.
Just going to come I know you want to come in there, Ross, but very quickly. And have garages shot themselves in the foot by clearing codes too easily? Which is the way diagnostics started. You used to hear people going to garages saying, "Can you clear this code?" and they clear it. Do you think they've shot themselves in the foot long term with that?
Well, I mean, it's not an ideal situation, but I think the codes can be misleading anyway. If you talk to garages engineers, as Martin mentioned earlier on, lots of things on a track will come up as one code, but actually it could be two digits down or whatever it is. So I think for me, it's more the appetite of the garages to continue their education and learning as well. So much like we have to evolve as a manufacturer, the garage also has to evolve. And are you staying in ICE, or are you going hybrid EV? Are you doing a mixture? And what's required for you to achieve that? We're part of the SMMT, and we were at an event this last week, and I had the opportunity to go around some EV battery manufacturing and looking at what's going on. And they're doing it for the OE, but also looking how they can assist the aftermarket was refreshing. But looking at the requirements and the restrictions and the handling that's different to a normal mechanic's daily job was also eye-opening and fascinating. And there's some real education that needs to happen with that. These are high voltage systems that can kill someone, and working on them, you have to be able to be doing that in an effective manner, but safe as well for you and for the person whose car you're working on.
And you say, obviously, education. How do you educate these garages that won't come to UKGB or Auto Mechanica, where a lot of education happens, or at least the start of it? How do we get through that age-old problem?
I think evolution is an interesting thing, and as you look at the evolution of time and history, people get left behind, and that's inevitable. Some people will not continue on the journey. They do what they do until that dries up, and then they go and do something else. The ones that will adapt and evolve will find a future and find a way to merge that. There are things that relate now from one technology to the other, and then there are things that will evolve and adapt from that. Do I think EV is the savior and solution of all of the world's problems? No, not at all. The technology will shift and change. It's definitely getting better. Is it the outcome? I'm not sure. There are other technologies that are coming through. You've got synthetic fuels. You've got hydrogen, which takes a huge infrastructure to implement. But EV is a solution to some things, and it's relevant to some parts of our life. It doesn't fit my lifestyle. I'm running that to the last percentage, like I do on my phone or my car with filling it up, and I do long journeys. It's not always the route forward, but it will have a part in each of our lives, and we just need to understand what that is and how you interact with it.
Absolutely. So that actually brings me to my quick fire questions, which we'll do to finish, guys. Because The first question is petrol, diesel, or EV, or something else. So, Martin, you go first.
Petrol.
Ross?
What you think's going to happen, or what you like?
Just what you like.
That's what I went on.
Yeah.
I think the market will end up fragmented for a good period of time where there's different solutions until one comes forward. But
quick fire, guys.
Yeah, sorry, I like petrol.
Good. Worst car you've ever had?
oh,
Toyota Yaris. Just quick fire.
You've had a few then.
Ford Fiesta.
If you weren't in the automotive industry, what would you be doing?
Something creative, so design or photography.
Nice.
I always wanted to be a dolphin trainer.
Oh,
Oh, wait, have we got any dolphin sounds? Now this one, forget everything else we've discussed today. This is the biggest question of the day.
Okay.
this is really important.
There's
to
only
me,
one
Ben.
right answer.
Pineapple on pizza.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Yes! And you were my kind of guy, Ross.
I would actually go pineapple and chicken on pizza.
Oh, I'll try that.
Thanks for coming, Martin. You've been an absolute star today.
Thank you. No problem at all.
Thank you both for coming in.
Brilliant,
Appreciate
gents.
it.
Cheers.
It's been
Thanks,
great.
guys.
Thank you.
If people want to find out more about Intermotor, where should they go to?
Intermotor.com. On there, you've got information about us, information about the product, ways to contact us. Our ECAT's on there as well. So, yeah, Intermotor.com.
Or ask your supplier for it.
Great stuff. Thanks both.
Cheers.
Firstly, Victoria, pineapple on pizza is still a no for me.
I mean, that was a very split room that day.
It was, wasn't it? Most importantly, of course, independent garages have to adapt, I think, was the message that came out. And the ones that adapt quicker will be the ones at the forefront of the future for the industry.
Yeah, and I think it's worth bearing in mind when we talk about the next 5 years, you know, those goalposts do keep moving. So it's thinking about solutions for your garage and how to keep your customers happy. But so many moving parts in the aftermarket at the moment.
And of course, those changes are out of our hands. So unfortunately, we have to go with the flow, as you say.
Go with the flow.
Go
Lovely.
with the flow. That's it for this episode. A huge thank you to Ross and Martin from Intermotor Group, I can say it correctly, for coming in. You can find out more at intermotor.com.
And of course, another thank you to BM Catalyst for being this episode's sponsor, the UK and Europe's leading manufacturer of catalytic converters, DPFs, and front pipes. You can find out more at bmcats.com.
Finally, thank you so much to you, the listener. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to follow Garage Talk Unwrapped on your favourite podcast platform and some that aren't your favourite. And of course, hit the bell so you never miss an episode.
You love saying that, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Next time, we have Alex Gazlisti, CEO of Big Atom, talking about tyre recycling.
Massive area.
Ben, do you know the 3 uses of waste tyres?
I do, but I'm not going to give it away. People have to listen.
Secret.
It's a brilliant episode because it's a massive area of the industry that is...
They're quite unknown?
Yeah, unknown,
Yeah,
yeah.
a bit of a question mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's us for next time.
Brilliant.
See you then.
Bye.